Good morning, guys. I hope you are well and enjoying our Thanksgiving week, that you're getting ready to be where you want to be, with who you want to be, and eat what you want to eat. And that you are reminded um, what you're thankful for. I think the more we're thankful for things in life, the more we get to be thankful for. You know, it sounds cliche, but it's true. Whatever energy you put out is what energy you get back. What that means is the more you're thankful for in your life, the more the universe sends you to be thankful for, to enhance that sense of gratitude. I just wanted to take a quick second today to talk about the writing that I put up yesterday when I was writing about Dion Fortune and energy work, which essentially is what magic comes down to. Magic is energy work, just like Tai Chi, just like Qigong, just like Taoism. It's just the Western version of it. We're moving energy and doing things with it. Either we're using it to heal, or we're using it to manifest, or we're circulating it through our system to provide us with spiritual sustenance. Whatever it is, we're working with energy. The key to that is practice, practice, practice. Every day, practice, no matter what. I've heard people say things to me before like, I don't do magic very often. How did they phrase it? Because I don't want to overdo it. You can't really overdo it. I mean, if you stop being able to do it, then you rest until the next day and you start again. There's no overdoing it. The more you do, the better. But Dion Fortune, the writing yesterday, someone pointed out, I mentioned some books that she had written, like Psychic Self-Defense, and I mentioned Psychic Vampires. And someone pointed out that they couldn't find that book by her. And the reason is because I miswrote. Psychic Vampires is actually not by Dion Fortune. It's by someone else whose work I would highly, highly suggest and recommend checking out in this regard. It's a man named Joe Slate. Joe Slate, PhD, so Dr. Joe Slate. But he wrote a book called Psychic Vampires. And this book is kind of amazing, actually. Just because of how practical it is. Now, to give you an idea of who Joe Slate is, you know, this isn't just some random New Age wackadoo. This was a guy who, this is what he did for military intelligence. He was in the United States military, and his job was to figure out how to use energy for the purposes of like espionage and military stuff and everything else. But he wrote this book called Psychic Vampires, and in this book he actually posts photos. They have cameras that can take pictures of auras, and I don't mean those cheesy looking things like you get in places like, say, Salem or Chinatown here in New York, where you're basically just sitting there with a blurry haze of colors around you. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about things that actually show the perimeter of the aura. And he also showed, the reason the book is called Psychic Vampires is because things puncture and tear and rip our auras all the time, and whenever that happens, we're depleted, we're losing energy, just like you lose blood whenever your skin is punctured. But he has the photos in here of like healthy whole auras and auras that have been damaged by either outside stressors or other people, to be quite honest. Have you ever got around someone that the second you leave, you think, I have got to take a nap? This person just sucked the life out of me. Well, that's because they're doing it literally. And he shows like people that cause the majority of people to feel like that when they're around them. He showed pictures of their auras where it's actually reaching out towards the people it's draining, almost as if it has tentacles. So he shows what it looks like when you're around these kinds of people. And some people can do this consciously. You know, there are people on Earth who have developed the conscious ability to latch onto and drain the energy from the aura of others. I don't understand why you would, to be quite honest, unless it's someone that you're sharing with, going back and forth, passing energy from you to them to create a kind of energetic bond. Because honestly, you're better off taking energy from divinity, from the earth, exchanging it with trees, things like that. Because when you take energy from a person, you don't just take raw energy. You also take some of their qualities and characteristics and traits and everything else. That's why when you're around a person for a long period of time, you each start to behave a little more like the other. It's because there's that constant flow of energy going back and forth. It has stuff in it. But Joe Slade in this book, Psychic Vampires, he also goes into how to repair your aura whenever you are feeling drained, whenever people are latching onto you like that and siphoning energy from you. He goes into like really, really easy but incredibly effective techniques for repairing stuff like that, as well as replenishing the energy that you lose. This is the book I had when I was in prison, and it had a really profound impact on me. It made me, what I want to do with you guys is show you how easy some of this stuff can be. It can actually be so easy that you think to yourself, it can't be this easy. It can. It still takes practice. It takes commitment. You've got to do it constantly. But it can be really easy and really fun. To me, using energy is the most fun part of magic. I think it's what motivated me and kept me going through all those years. Training and learning and growing and practicing. Just the excitement of what I could do. But Psychic Vampires by Joe Slate is a book that I highly recommend. Another one would be a book called Qigong. Chigung. And I believe it's by a woman. I don't even know why I'm thinking it's a woman, because the author is just initials. But for some reason I get the feeling it's a woman. I believe her name was L.V. Carney, if I'm not mistaken. This book is a primer on basic energetic techniques, like exchanging energy with people, places, things, telling you how energy works. It's not boring, it's not dry, and it is incredibly useful. I have used stuff that I've learned from that book all the way up until the present day in my life. Okay guys, thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for being with me on here. Also, if you haven't heard yet, there is an app out called Cameo, and I'm on this app now. What it is, essentially, I'm doing 1 minute or 1 card tarot readings, where you basically send in a question and I send you a video of a 1 card reading, or just hang and chat or send messages to other people. People like to do things like have you send happy birthday or happy Thanksgiving or Merry Christmas or Happy New Year or whatever it is. People have been asking me to send each other messages on there, and I kind of like doing it. It's kind of fun, actually. So if you're interested in that, that's going on too. It's called Cameo, Cameo. I hope you guys have a good day. I love you, and I'll talk to you back here tomorrow. Have fun getting ready for Thanksgiving.